Sean Porter, Errol Spence, they went toe-to-toe when it came to that overall strength. That's what that fight was all about. I'm not gonna let you muscle me, I'ma muscle you. Vice versa. They both felt that way. We know who came out on top. It was Errol Spence who was victorious, took the WBC strap from Sean Porter. You know what I mean? I would say that Errol Spence, he possibly won the overall strength battle in that fight. Also the battle of will. You know what I mean? But just because he did that and showed time and time again that he's a strong welterweight doesn't make him the strongest. Doesn't put him in that A+ 100% category amongst all other fighters with great overall strength. The likes of Evander Holyfield, the likes of Mike Tyson. I'm comparing Spence to all of these guys, regardless of weight class. You know what I mean? And it's the same for Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, and Manny Pacquiao. I'm comparing all of these guys to each other, regardless of weight class. This is a true pound for pound skill set breakdown. Tap in, man. The next skill set component that we have is punching power, which I rated a 89%, a B+ for Errol Spence Jr. For he does have one punch knockout power measurement and well, this is one punch knockout power measurement and capability. He has bruising and damaging capability. Those are the details of punching power, right? One punch knockout power measurement and capability, bruising and damaging capability. I rank Errol Spence up there with the best of the best. As I explained in the Terrence Crawford skill set video breakdown, which people got mad at me because I rated Terrence Crawford at 86. It's no disrespect. And I might even get some flack for even rating Errol Spence a 89 or possibly putting him 3 basis points higher than Terrence Crawford, right? But from what I've seen throughout Errol Spence's entire career, he bruises guys. Terrence Crawford, he does the same. He's a bruiser as well. But if we're comparing them to every boxer in their punching power, how does Errol Spence match up with the Ernie Shavers? In the department of punching power, how does an Errol Spence match up with the Deontay Wilder? How does Errol Spence match up with the Manny Pacquiao even? How does Errol Spence match up with the likes of a Lennox Lewis? How does he match up with the likes of the middleweight monster? I forget his name. Lord have mercy. I forget his name. Shoot. Julian Jackson. The Hawk. How does he match up with the Julian Jackson in the department of punching power? That says it all. It's not to say that Errol Spence doesn't have great punching power. For us, a B+, it's an 89. That's pretty high. But it's all on how you use the punching power. Errol Spence, he's not just coming out and dogging dudes out and, you know what I mean, a couple of rounds, he getting them up out of there. He did that early in his career. But as he went up and faced better competition, the knockout percentage, it dropped. Period. We're going to the next skill set component in the physical capabilities and conditioning skill pillar, which is hand speed, which I rated at an 85%, a solid B. For Errol Spence, he has physical speed thrown with 8-ounce to 10-ounce gloves. Well, that's the details of the hand speed skill set, skill component. The physical speed of punches thrown with 8-ounce to 10-ounce gloves. And we all know that Errol Spence, he's not a hand speed artist. He has decent, considerable hand speed. I'm not saying his hand speed is average. Never said his hand speed was average. Average is 75. That's a C. C is always average. I give him a solid B, for it's not It ain't on the level of a Manny Pacquiao. It's not on the level of Vasil Lomachenko and these lighter weight class guys. It's not on their level, but you know what I mean? He has okay, decent hand speed. I rest my case. We'll move on to foot speed, the next skill component in the skill pillar of physical capabilities, which I rated at 85%, solid B. Not saying that Errol Spence has slow feet, not saying that his foot speed is average, which is a C. I say that it's decent. It's enough to get the job done. That's it. Moving on to the next skill pillar, which is intangibles. I have rated overall at an 88.75%, which is a solid B plus for its intangibles. The first skill component is head movement. I rated at an 86. Yes, a solid B. Decent, good, not the greatest. Why? He has good capabilities of slipping punches with timing and movement of the head. You know what I mean? It's not even to say that he gets hit. I'm not saying that Errol Spence gets hit excessively, but he's not one to move his head a lot either. When he does move his head, when Errol Spence decides to move his head, it works. But you won't find Errol Spence moving. He's not a slip artist like that. He's a guy that comes forward in the high guard. He's catching punches. He's catching and shooting. He's a catch and shoot artist, though he can move his head, right? He can box and, do the fancy stuff, but he opts not to because he's coming in as a Terminator to take you out in the high guard and to catch whatever you got coming towards him so he can shoot something even harder back. To be in position to deliver a power punch straight from the cheekbones. That's boxing 101, right? That's boxing 101. The next skill component, which is anticipation / effective blocking, which I rated at a 91%, a A-. Wow. People will say, why isn't that a 95? Why isn't it a little higher than the 91? Well, Errol Spence, he has great defense, underrated defense in my opinion. But that's not to say he's not hittable. He's a boxer puncher, so he's looking for the fight. He's not a defensive-minded guy. If Errol Spence was defensive-minded, this might be a little higher. But because of his fighting style, he's a seek and destroy guy. So he's coming forward looking for the fight. And if you know anything about boxing, if you're looking for it, you gotta give one to take one sometimes. You gotta give two to take four. You know what I mean? Or you gotta take 4 to give 6. You know what I'm saying? That's the ratio with it. And with his effective blocking skill component, it's a 91. It's a 91 just because of his style. His style brings it that low, and that's not even low. It's still elite. An A- is always good in my book. I don't know about y'all, but that's always good in my book. If I'm in college and I got all A-, I'll take it. I'll take it for it. That's still a 4.0. Hello. Come on, man. Moving on. The next skill component is effective combination punches, which I have rated at a 90%, a A-. For he has the ability to throw up. I'm sorry. Let me retract. The detail of this skill set component is the ability to throw up to 5 or 6 punches effectively for connection on opponent. And what I mean by 5 or 6 punches, I'm talking like all in one sync, all in one motion, not land 1, land 2, wait. I ain't talking about different sequences. I'm talking about all in one succession. And this is actually high for Errol Spence. You know what I mean? I'm giving him a lot of respect. I'm giving Errol Spence a lot of credit and respect in this regard for he's a body snatcher. So he can put together these punches to the body, right? To the body. He can put them together. To the head, I don't see him being a headhunter. He's going to set up a few punches down low, and he's going to come up top. I say at most, he's giving me 4 punches doing that. Now, if he's putting together 5 and 6, cool. Not saying that it's not possible, not saying that he hasn't done it, but I don't see it on a consistent enough basis to put that to a 95 or even a 100. You know what I mean? I think that Sugar Ray Leonard is a better combination puncher than Errol Spence, right? So we would have to raise Sugar Ray Leonard, his combination punching possibly to 100%. You know what I mean? Is Errol Spence on that level? I don't know if he is in the department in regards to combination punching. Let's move on. The last skill component in the Intangibles department is counterpunching, which I rated at an 88%, solid B+, for he does have the ability to attack immediately after opponent's opening. That's just what it is. I can further explain, but that's not even his style. Errol Spence is not a counterpuncher, people. He can counterpunch. He has the capability. He's decent when he does decide to do it, but he's a seek and destroy guy. Let's move on to the next skill pillar, which is strategy execution, the last skill pillar that we'll break down. And I've rated strategy execution of Errol Spence at a 96%, which is a solid A. A solid A. The first skill component in this department is pace dictation, which I rated at a 95, a solid A. He has the superior capability to either speed up the pace of the fight or slow down the pace of the fight whilst not becoming overwhelmed and out of control. Hands down, I think we could all agree on that. The next skill component is awareness of opponent's strategy. For Errol Spence has the elite ability to understand opponent's punch patterns, punch output, punching range, and perceived advantage. A great trainer in Derek James helps Spence understand the strategy of the opponent. As I broke down in the Terrence Crawford skill set video, your coach has so much to do with this skill set component right here. It's your corner. You're not going to see everything, right? You're not going to see everything. It's those second set of eyes that helps you identify what your opponent is trying to do. I rest my case there, as Derek James is one of the best in the game right now when it comes to training. The next skill set component, we have opponent weakness exploitation, which is a 98%, a solid A, close to an A+. For Errol Spence has the elite ability, the superior ability to nullify opponent's strengths. And just like the previous skill component of this skill pillar, your trainer has so much to do with this, because they can point out a weakness and boom, if you can listen and have the discipline, you can go out and do damage and nullify your opponent's strengths. But aside from the great trainer, I would say that Errol Spence, he has a stabbing southpaw jab, and he uses his power effectively to get guys respect. And it's the way that he places his punches that can nullify an opponent's offensive attack and make him think twice. It's all about the mind. And when it comes to the skill set pillar of strategy execution, it's all about the mind. It's nothing else. It has nothing to do with physical capabilities or hand speed. None of it. It helps, but really it's all about the mind and how you use your tools that you have to your full advantage. And I would say overall, Errol Spence has probably the best strategy execution in the game right now. He's up there top 5 in strategy execution. This game, this boxing game, the Hurt Business, is 90% mental, 10% physical. I would even say 95% mental, 5% physical, but you have to be in the best shape of your life every time you step in that ring. That pretty much wraps up this video breakdown of Errol Spence's overall skill set rating, which I have rated at a 92% for if we're to add up the skill pillars, which is 4, if we're to take form, which is 94.25%, physical capabilities, which is 88.16%, intangibles, which is 88.75%, and strategy execution, which is 96%. Add that up, divide that by 4, we get 91.79%. Rounded up to the nearest 10, you get 92%. Ironically, is pretty much identical to Terrence Bud Crawford. This was not on purpose to rate them pretty much the same rating. It was by accident, but on purpose. Purposely, I rated it just going down the list with my eye test, but it just so happened to come out. The dice just so happened to roll in this direction. That caps this video. If you all enjoyed the content, please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Please stay updated. Like, share your comments, your thoughts in the comment section. It's been real. Until next time, we out.